morning. It's Wednesday, October 15th. This is the Automotive State of the Union. I'm Paul J. Daly. This is Kyle Mountsier. We have a super special guest today. We can't tell you it's Tim Pohanka, but we're going to talk about their new show. But first, we're going to talk about Stellantis and the new NADA vice chair, which, as you know, in 2 years will be the NADA chair. That's how succession works.
So cool.
But I'm so fired up for today's show.
Oh, I'm fine. This is going to be such a good show. One, like every story has hope attached to it. Like there's no pain today. It's just good vibes.
There's been a lot of pain lately.
You gotta have that on a hump day. You know what I mean? Sometimes a hump day just needs all the love. So
I like that. You know, I saw the last flight I was on. I can't remember where I was coming from, but it was kind of a long flight, super late at night. Every once in a while, when I'm just like too tired to work anymore, I'll put something on. And I put on the John Wick documentary and like making of the series, and it's called Wick is Pain. And the making of that, it just showed how they just got so beat up. And I was like, this is kind of like the auto industry.
That's funny.
Like they love it so much they keep making sequels, but it is just brutal to make their way through it. We have a few things coming up. The next ASOTU Edge webinar, rules of the road, when, why, and how to move vehicles between stores, with Patrick Janes of vAuto and Paul Golias of Modern Auto Group. They're going to talk about the strategies to have a central director and move vehicles around the stores, between stores, negotiating and navigating between multiple general managers so that the group wins and everybody in the stores wins. It's a growing challenge for anyone that has, we see a lot of small groups becoming large groups, a lot of independents becoming small groups. So very relevant. You can sign up for that. When is it? October 22nd. So
next Wednesday. So 1 week from today. Don't miss it. Make sure you get on the
go to ASOTU.com, ASOTU.com. You can register or get the recording, and we'll have some good fun. Also next week, we have a full week of Q4 strategy sessions running in the morning. We have Russ Flip Swips. We have Andy Gelcher of Mohawk. I'm going to forget people now.
Patrick Abad,
Ryan
Joe
Rorman.
Castellino, Ryan Rorman.
Yeah, we're talking service, EVs.
Cast.
Yeah, we do. Social media, the whole thing. So you can just be there. If you don't get the morning show on the podcast version, you should go to Spotify. Apple
You can
Podcast.
go to Shopify. We do have a Shopify site.
You can buy these things
right now.
Thanks, Liza.
Spotify.
Yeah. All right, let's get into some news, shall we? So we can get to the guest. Stellantis just dropped the biggest investment announcement in company history, $13 billion to bring more Jeep, Dodge, and Ram production back home to the U.S. The plan adds 5,000 jobs and launches 5 new vehicles and a new 4-cylinder engine, getting back into that ICE by 2030. Boy, we haven't said 2030.
2030, but in related to ICE vehicles, what's happening?
Well, now 2030 is only 4 years away, basically.
Yeah, right. That's
so it's a little different than it was like 2020. CEO Antonio Filosa says the goal is simple: grow in the U.S. after Jeep's recent slump. $600 million will reopen the Belvidere, Illinois plant to build the Jeep Cherokee and Compass, moving both of those out of Mexico, where they are currently. A new range extended EV and gas model are coming to Metro Detroit, adding another 900 jobs. Filosa said, quote, "Success in America is not just good for Stellantis in the U.S. It makes us stronger everywhere."
Yeah, I mean, obviously, that type of investment in the U.S. economy is super exciting for anyone thinking about where they can find jobs. It's great for just the general U.S. economy to have a strong auto industry. It is interesting to me to see whether or not this is a knee-jerk reaction to some of the EV slowdown and promoting having new ICE vehicles, new 4-cylinder engines in their R&D roadmap. Kind of seems strange when they're not, prioritizing alternative fuel options. But overall, a positive reach, and we could see some of these things change and flex, as R&D timelines and things shape up. But they've got to do something to fix some of the downturn years.
Another 900 jobs going to Detroit. All I hear is M&M's ding, 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 ding. Right? I just hear that Super Bowl commercial with that Chrysler 300, which I think was one of the coolest cars.
What a great
release. It was a good commercial. Speaking of looking forward, commercials, Detroit, new jobs. Sandy Fitzgerald Angello of Pohanka Auto Group has been elected as the NADA vice chair for 2026. She's only the second woman ever to hold the role and is expected to take the top spot in 2027. She brings 40 plus years of experience and currently represents Maryland dealers on the NADA board. She's following the trailblazing footsteps of Annette Sikora, who broke the barrier back in 2007. She said, quote, "This position allows me to amplify the voice of dealers. I look forward to supporting franchise dealers and the customers we serve. Rob Cochran of Number One Cochran moves up to chair in 2026, continuing their long tradition, NADA's tradition, of planned succession. Both Cochran and Angello start their new roles at the 2026 NADA show. And speaking of Pohanka Automotive.
Stop. Segue.
Time. It's time for the guest, Kyle.
Here we go.
All right.
Uh-oh. Tim, where's Tim? Bring Tim in, Nathan. Bring in Tim. There's Tim.
Hello.
Tim, you were telling us just a bit about Sandy, because you obviously know Sandy well, with the Pohanka Automotive Group, of which is your namesake. Tell us a little bit about like her journey and what you are excited about her being in the seat with.
First thing is that, I want to make sure that everyone knows that Sandy is an amazing operator. She's a mentor. She's a friend. She is a community builder. It's amazing. And her story, I mean, she started with our company way back in the day as a receptionist and has grown from there.
Receptionist to chair of NADA. Only
Well,
in this industry.
more importantly, it's the journey she's had. She is a winner at everything that she's ever put her mind to. And we are very lucky to have her in that upcoming role.
That's amazing. I can't believe it. Receptionist to chair. I don't know if we've ever heard that story.
What a story.
I will tell you that when you meet Sandy, you will understand that is the most dedicated person you will find.
We can't wait. We'll have to have her on.
Amazing. Yeah. Speaking of some dedication.
Oh, we're segueing.
We're
segueing again. We're segueing again.
Let us introduce this, because 3 Nissan dealers, including Tim Pohanka sitting next to us, traded their desks for desert dust. The Detour is dropping today. That's Wednesday, folks. October 15th. If you're listening to this today, it drops today on YouTube and is equal parts road trip chaos, friendship test, and CVT redemption story for all us guys that started out in the Nissan world. It was Tim Pohanka. Chris, how do you say Chris's last name, Tim? Lankos and Jason Cole. They took 3 used Nissans. All of them were under $10,000 retail. Each had 100,000 mile CVT attached to them. And they drove 1,500 miles across salt flats, dunes, mountain passes. They were all over the place. The cars even have names called the Duke, Luciano, and Emma.
Which one was yours, Tim? Which one was yours?
I drove the Duke.
Amazing.
What was the Duke?
The Duke was a 2016 Nissan Juke.
Love it.
Amazing. That's back, man. I remember selling that car. That's amazing. So where did all of this come from? Like when did you strike the idea of we're going to jump in 3 older Nissans with CVTs and run across the Great West?
I just came across in talking with dealers and with my great partner at Latitude 26 Media. It was just talking about what we can do to really tell a story. And how better to tell a story than with a car? And not a commercial. Anyone can do a commercial, but when you go out and you can start to prove what things can do, that's really where the emphasis came. Is how do you prove it? How do you really show what's going on? And that's kind of how it came about. Is how do we show that proof and do it in a way that's entertaining?
So let's watch the trailer, because I think some people haven't seen this yet. Probably a lot of people haven't seen it. Let's watch the trailer, and then we'll talk a little bit about more. I personally want to hear more about the friendship test, where there fist fights, right? Was there like, stealing each other's, food on the trip? I don't know, but let's watch the trailer.
Across some of the harshest environments in America, 3 car dealers set out to prove that ordinary Nissans could take on an extraordinary journey. And to finally prove that the much talked about CVT transmission had been wrongly accused by forcing it into conditions no engineer in their right mind ever intended.
We're a little crazy.
Every mile was another way to test the transmission, boiling heat from overwork, terrain that strained the pulleys to their limit, and bumps that never stopped shaking it. In short, if there was a wrong way to use a CVT, we found it.
Now we're rolling, boys.
Road trips change because they have to. The car breaks, the road disappears, the plan collapses, and that is when the adventure really begins.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
The best lessons, stories, and outcomes are found on the roads least traveled. They're found in the Detour.
Okay, I have to say, if you're just listening to the auto podcast, it's great because there's a voiceover, but it looked like the utter chaos it sounded like We had Nissans fording rivers, salt flats, getting stuck, champagne popping and flying everywhere. Tim, it looked like absolute chaos. How long did that whole thing take to film?
Took 6 days of filming, about 7 to 8 days of total time in out west, but it was a blast.
Okay, give us. So it's premiering now. It's dropping today, so it hasn't dropped yet as of this morning.
It drops at 12. I have seen it, and I will tell you, it has been worth every bit of wait for it.
Oh, that's so cool. What was the biggest test that came up? Was it, friendship? Was it the vehicles, having issues? Was it just being out and like trying to figure out how to get gear around? What kind of like came up that you weren't expecting in the whole thing?
Lots of things I would say that we didn't plan for or expect. When it comes down to having 3 dealer A-type personalities together, you would think there's going to be a problem. I would say that we did a really good job of working together, and that wasn't as much of a concern. We had some issues with the road. We had some issues with some theft.
Wow.
But
did that make it into the show? Did the theft make it into the show?
We're working on that. The first episode, we didn't want to make it about the fact we opened up our crates and found out we were missing gear. But no, I will say this: the hardest part about it truly was putting it all together. But once we got there, everyone was really committed to what was going on, and lots of things just happened naturally, and that was really exciting. The biggest test was the last day. I will say that Ophir Pass is not to be taken lightly, but it was a fun challenge.
That's awesome.
What is your expectation for the show? Like, I know you obviously made it to make content that was about more than just, like the day and here's a car, buy it. Who's your expectation? Like, who do you want to see this? What do you want to do? Are you looking for it to drive, broad awareness? Are you looking for it to drive people in the dealership? Do you have plans on how to leverage it?
Obviously, the first goal is in some way, shape, or form to get people to like our cars. I mean, we have to talk about that, but really it goes back to why. And we really want to bring back a sense of pride and wonder about a road trip, about what transportation, the freedom it can provide, because that connection of your car and what it does for you is really what causes someone to go buy a car. Now, obviously, we want them to buy our cars. That would be great. But it really wasn't just about Nissan. It was more about what you can do. Yes, we wanted to prove that the CVT transmission was a little bit better than its reputation. But at the same time, it's about getting people out and enjoying what's out there. And I think that would be one of the big takeaways. Obviously, we want to do more, and the popularity will determine that. But there's lots of great trips, lots of great stories that we can tell about automotive and really connect a consumer or just an enthusiast with what they can do with their car.
I was just thinking, like, all those infomercial slots that are really cheap now.
You just slot them in the infomercial. Great. That would be way better.
What were we gonna say, Kyle?
Well, no, I think what. When the rite of passage in the US is I get to 16 and I get a car, and that exhibits freedom, right? And then I get the car that can take the road trip, and then I get the car that can handle my family, and then I get the car that's the midlife crisis and my family doesn't have to sit in the back seat, right? It's always a rite of like, what do I do next with this thing? What causes that to be forgotten is the daily drive of back and forth to work, sitting in traffic. And I think what this does is restore wonder in the eyes of a car driver to what canon should I be doing with this car? And the Great American Road Trip is such a way to just restore nostalgia and couple it with the experiential generation of Gen X, or Gen Z, sorry, wanting to get back and experience things. And I think it's going to couple well with that. It's very cool.
I will tell you that one of the sub plots that we felt through it was the people that we were meeting across the way, and absolutely incredible. We had a gentleman, we had a tire go bad on our one of our production vehicles, and a gentleman in Utah kept his garage that's in his house open past 10:30, 11 o'clock to help us. And, you start
Yeah.
to look at things like that about the type of people that you meet when you're out on the road. It kind of helps re-energize you into what we see every day in the news about the bad parts of
That's right.
people, and now you start to see the good parts of people, and there's a lot more good in this world than there's bad.
We fully agree.
And that's an exciting thing to see. And to your point, I will say I'm live in DC, and people spend a lot of time in traffic here. And I think enough people kind of look off to the side and they see some of those dirt roads when they're driving around going, I wonder if my car could do that. And we proved that quite a few of those cars that are designed for family can get it done.
Cool.
So our big vision as an organization and for the industry is to make retail automotive an industry that people fight to join, right? It's a far cry from that right now, but this effort that you all are putting in, as well as a lot of other people across the front lines, serving people, like sowing good into the world and showing people that there's a whole lot of good community that's worth being a part of around automotive, cars, auto dealers, dealerships. And so this is something that actually just helps drive that point home just a little bit more. How many episodes are there?
We're not exactly sure yet. We're still in the editing process. We're definitely going to be somewhere right around 6.
Great. And about how long is each episode?
They're going to be anywhere between 11 to 15 minutes long.
Beautiful. Perfect.
Snack
Nice.
size. There you
Perfect.
go.
I will say, I want to dovetail on something you said. I think the most important thing is to get involved with a partner who wants to help you tell that type of story. Too many of our vendor partners like to talk about the $199 sale, and they lose focus on the fact that it's still a people business. And getting that people story out is really an important part of what I think the future of our industry needs to lead into.
You're singing our song, man. we got to. I'm glad we've connected over this because I think there's a lot more work we can do together to make that more of a reality. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for showing the way for so many people. And we're looking forward to showing this as much as we bring as much exposure to the show as we can. We can't wait to watch it. If you also want to watch it, the website isn't as of recording. It will be. So maybe by the time you hear us, it's Detour.com. That'll be directed to. But if not, you can just go to YouTube and search The Tour Detour. And I just searched it. It was the #1 organic result that came up so that you can enjoy, join the community, comment, share it with your family. I think it's a great opportunity to show this content over the holidays when you have a lot of family together and be proud of the industry you're in.
I hope everyone does enjoy it and has a lot of fun because it was incredibly fun to make.
Well, Tim, thank you so much for joining us today on the show. We look forward to much success of the show and in the future. Can't wait to meet you in person. We'll be here tomorrow doing more of this. So tune in, go to thetourdetour.com. Check it out.
Thank you.